So hi everyone, my name's Jean Yang. Welcome to Live It Up. So you can live up to your career expectation, become the best you want to be, and also make your inspiration your reality. So today we have Ryan here.
Hey everybody.
Hi.
Hey Jean.
So he is actually the author of Reengineering Success. So we're very glad to have you today, Ryan.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for, despite some technical difficulties that we've been having today. So can you briefly tell us in 2 to 3 sentences, what do you do?
Yeah, so there's two sort of main components to what I do in my career now. I do motivational coaching, which is helping people understand how motivation works and how they can access it for themselves at any time and anywhere. Like we always just sort of literally a perspective away from our motivation. So I coach people on that along with my team. And I also do consulting, so helping organizations better understand the younger generation's mindset, what they want, what their pain points are, in order to adapt the culture of their organization so that they can perform better as they move into the next decade.
So what would you say? What are the young generation thinking right now based on your observation?
Yeah, so, from sort of like the younger generation thing, something I've noticed is a lot of them are looking for purpose, right? They're not quite sure what their careers mean, what their life means. They're trying to find out what really is going to fulfill me and that I can do for a living. And so that's been a big sort of constant issue that's come up over the past few years in this industry. And one of the biggest barriers from them actually finding it, I've found through my coaching, is a lot of them don't, I guess it sounds cliche, but they don't believe in themselves. They think less of themselves. They don't think they're valuable. They don't think they are worth something. They don't think that they can make a difference in the world.
And why is that?
I think there's a bunch of reasons that could go on for a long time. We have society that's conditioned us to believe that you always have to buy the next iPhone to be really valuable and popular. And then when that iPhone goes out of date, you're no longer relevant. And if you're not on social media, always getting likes on your post, then you're not relevant. I think the biggest thing, if I were to narrow it down as I'm talking to you, is we rely too much on the external circumstances to define who we are.
It's so funny that you're saying that. I actually don't have an iPhone. I must not be part of the category.
You have like a flip phone.
Well, a bit better than I'm Android. Sorry, guys. So, because people are conditioned to their the external circumstance. So, how do you tell them to get back on track, to believe in themselves?
Yeah, the big thing there is understanding how the mind works. So a quick lesson on how that happens is our mind works off perspectives. It's always looking for a perspective or a lens in order to see the world, right? It's like kind of when you put on a pair of sunglasses, you change the way the world looks by shading it out and making it a little bit darker so you don't have to squint. So a lot of times we create perspectives, and those perspectives are built up of two main components. You have beliefs and reasons for those beliefs. So beliefs are truths that you hold, and when they're reasoned out, that becomes a perspective. So you're like, that's just the way it is. That's the lens now that I see of the world. And every perspective is associated with emotions. So if something happens to you and you create a belief, a negative one, like, I suck, I'm not good enough, my life's a disaster, and you reason it out, you're going to feel frustrated, angry, depressed, sad, all those negative emotions. But what people don't often realize, and it took me a long time to understand, is there's no such thing as an objective perspective. There's no such thing as one perspective that trumps them all. There's just the perspective you choose. So, for example, when we talked about a lot of young people not believing in themselves, or thinking, I'm not valuable, and they reason out why they're not valuable. I don't have a job, I don't have a lot of money, I don't have this. They could easily create the perspective, I am valuable, and find evidence for that as well if they look at their situations and circumstances differently. So they could say, I am valuable because I do have a job, and that means I'm adding value to this job. That's amazing. It may not be the job that I ultimately want, but wow, they hired me. That means I'm valuable. Or I am valuable because I can think. I can come up with creative ideas. I am valuable because, you know, I have people who love me, and you focus on the people who love you and people you've helped in your life. There's so many reasons that are there for positive beliefs. The problem is if you don't give them focus, you don't put them in focus, and you don't give them energy, they're not there to help you. They're sort of out of sight, out of mind. And you focus on the wrong things that hold you back. Now you gotta ask yourself, the people that are around you, what type of energy are they and what purpose are they serving? Think about it. Like, you can start to look at people in your life and say, well, what's the purpose of this energy of this person? If they're constantly challenging your beliefs and looking at the negative side of why you can't do something, why you're not gonna sort of amount to anything in your life, they're serving you in a negative way. They're trying to hold you back from moving towards what you want, unless you want to move back. Like, if you want to move back, by all means, keep those people around. But if you look at the people that are around you that are trying to support you, that give you advice, that helps you move forward, that give you constructive feedback, that recognize you when you do amazing things, those are the people, that's the energy that's serving you in a positive way that you really want to keep close to yourself.
Can you give us one of your personal example? Oh, I'm putting Ryan on the spot.
Jeez. When I shifted from a negative perspective to a positive one, right?
Yes, that's right.
So 2014 was an interesting year because, you know, I didn't have a lot of business and stuff come in, and I was really struggling, and it was, you know, fairly new because I had pivoted to a new sort of business model, and I kept saying to myself, I don't have money. Don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money.
Yeah.
Probably a big one that a lot of people have.
Mm-hmm.
Then I read in December of that year a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Dr. Joseph Murphy, I think. Or Campbell, I can't remember which one it is.
I have that book.
Right.
Great book.
Amazing book. Like, you have to read it. Like, I just think it's such an incredible book. Talks about the different aspects of the mind and how it works. And as I was reading that, I reflected on that year that I didn't do well. And it was amazing how he talks about when you keep reaffirming a belief to yourself, you keep seeing the consequences of it in reality. So every time I said I don't have money, what am I doing? I'm creating the reality that I live in where money can't show up. Because how can money show up if I keep believing in myself I don't have money? So then I caught myself and I was like, you know, this book helped me sort of realize I had it, I identified it, and then I used the tool I created, which was, okay, that's one belief, where does it come from, right? So I grew up in a middle-class family that realized if you don't have a job, you don't have money. Like I had certain sort of ways of thinking that my parents had given me, and the society I lived in at that time had given me as well, because I had never really experienced what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And so I built the belief I do have money. Now, when I first tried to switch over, my mind was like, what are you talking about, Ryan? Like, you don't have anything. But then I started to get creative with the way I looked at the world.
Uh-huh.
I said, I do have money, but I'm not going to look at money just in terms of cash. I'm going to look at money in terms of value. What value do I have? Because money is just a reflection of value, right? If you're very valuable, you make money. You offer a service that's valuable and someone wants that service, you receive money, so it's just it's an exchange of value. So I said, why am I valuable? I was like, wow, I made it through 3 years of entrepreneurship. I survived really tough times. I live in an apartment, like I have a roof over my head. I'm able to like access food. I have a support system. I have all this stuff that is allowing me to continue to grow. I'm so valuable. I do have money. And maybe that money isn't in front of me for me to see it, but I know that money is coming towards me. I know I'm going to be rewarded, not just because for selfish reasons, but to help me serve bigger and better, to help me have more of an impact. Sure enough, 2015, complete opposite situation. Like, there's money. and yeah, like just raining. I was joking. But it's coming towards me, and it's making an appearance. And when I think about what changed, it wasn't so much the circumstances, because I'm not doing anything differently than I did last year. I'm just thinking differently. I stopped saying to myself, I don't have money. And say I can't afford something, or I don't have the money to put towards something. Instead of saying I don't have the money for it, I say, this is not where I want to invest what I have in right now. And I change my way of looking at that situation. So instead of saying I can't afford it, I say I choose not to put my money in this area. But I still accept receiving it when the time is right. Right? So you kind of start to get really intricate with the way your mind works and how you think. And that's why I love the power of your subconscious mind, and that's why I created Motivation Academy, is to help people realize there's no right or wrong perspective in life, right? There's only 8 perspectives that you hold, and ones that work to move you towards your goal, or the ones that don't work and hold you back.
So if you want to learn more about Ryan, you should go to Motivational Academy, because right now I'm so motivated inside of me, and seriously, he is so approachable, so kind. You'll love talking to him. If you have coaching service, go to Ryan. I will have all of his contact information at the bottom of the video. So thank you so much, Ryan, for coming and enlightening so much young professional today. Means so much to all.
Well, thanks for having me, Gene, and thanks everyone for listening, tuning in, and yeah, shift those perspectives. Really stay in a positive state of mind and emotion, and you'll be amazed. It's hard for me to say it and convince you, but once you experience it in your life and you realize, wow, what I think and what I feel changes things around me, you'll become a believer. I used to be a skeptic in this stuff, and only through experience am I a believer now. So just experiment with it, play with it, and the work that I do is always catered to helping you grow that relationship and trust in it.
And thank you for listening at Live It Up, so you can live up to your career expectation, become the best you want to be, and make your inspiration your reality. See you next time.
Bye, thank you.